Hello, sir. Good evening. So you are here to audition for the lead role in White House Down, are you not? Yes, that's right, I am. I was really hoping I could be in this movie. It looks exciting, it looks fun. I was really hoping I could be in it. Do you have any prior acting experience? I mean, I do skits on YouTube and stuff, you know. I mean, I just really feel like I'd be right for the role. I honestly do. Do you think White House Down is a ripoff of Olympus Has Fallen? No, they're not similar. Nice try, it's not going to get you the job. Dang it. Do you have any weapons training? No. Any training at all in regards to acting? No. Do you have muscles? Number one, you're not that big. Number two, don't ever do that again. And number three, Channing Tatum's muscles are bigger, so we hired him. Goodbye. Dang it! Well guys, in a movie filled with well-dressed men, Secret Service agents, and Channing Tatum's muscles, I didn't feel right doing this review unless I looked my best. White House Down is directed by Roland Emmerich. This guy is famous for Independence Day, Godzilla, The Day After Tomorrow, The Patriot, Anonymous, 10,000 BC, and 2012. He's made some other films too, but those are really the big ones. He's kind of like the go-to guy for these big, gigantic movies where the White House blows up, because that's essentially what this movie is about. Terrorists try to take over the White House. Channing Tatum is the one guy in the White House who couldn't get the Secret Service job that he wanted, so now he has to prove that he can save the president from these terrorists, as well as his daughter, who is also trapped in the White House. I can't do this review without mentioning that this movie literally is Olympus Has Fallen. I mean, it's just basically the exact same film in a different way. I'm not the guy who's going to say I know which idea came first. I actually did look it up and I couldn't really find any information aside from the fact that both of the production companies did compete while making this movie. But they're pretty much the same movie except with slightly different twists and turns in there and obviously a different directorial style. So Channing Tatum plays the diehard-like John McClane in this movie, who's the one guy in the White House who can get it done, and Jamie Foxx plays the more than capable president, and they have really good chemistry with each other in this movie, and I thought they worked off each other extremely well, and that is probably my favorite part of this movie, was actually the chemistry between Channing Tatum and Jamie Foxx and those two characters and their interplay. The movie as a whole is really dumb. It's really stupid, unfortunately, and I knew that going in because, you know, Roland Emmerich, although I really do like Independence Day, and I really do like The Patriot, which is my favorite film of his, he has a way of making films that can be so cheesy and so over the top and so overly dramatic that it causes many eye roll sessions, and this movie had a lot of those where I was just like, oh. No, oh boy, they did it. They did it, and they did it again. See, there are certain aspects of this movie that are really well done, namely the action in the film. The action in the film I thought was really great. Like, they did a really great job filming it. There was no stupid shaky cam. You could tell a lot of the actors are doing their own stunts. There were good action scenes in the film. There were good performances in the movie. This movie's filled with great actors. Channing Tatum, Jamie Foxx, James Woods, Richard Jenkins, the dude whose name I always forget from Zero Dark 30. There's a lot of really good actors in this movie, and everyone does a pretty good job with the material that they're given. It's just, that's what I'm saying. They do a good job with the material that they're given, because sometimes the material they're given is really weak. And that comes from the script from James Vanderbilt, who also wrote The Rundown starring The Rock, Darkness Falls, a really terrible horror film, and oddly enough he wrote the film Zodiac, which I think is a masterpiece by David Fincher. The little girl from Dark Knight Rises plays Channing Tatum's daughter in this movie, and she just wasn't she wasn't ready for this movie, because there are some crying scenes and there are some whimpering scenes that just were bad. Just not quite ready for the material that was given her, and perhaps direction wasn't entirely in her favor, because not really working was her performance. I just turned into Yoda. Not really working was her performance. Sorry. The movie features tons and tons of really cliched military dialogue that's so cheesy, where you know, like, okay, that would just never happen. Like, there's one guy who just comes into a room and like sets up a little device and just controls the White House all of a sudden. He's like, I'm the king of all hackers. Everyone praise me. And I'm like, seriously, it's just way too much. It's a screenplay that wants you to have a lot of fun with it. And at times you do. The action sequences are really well done. But it also has this lighthearted sense of humor about it. But then there are times when it really wants you to take it seriously. Like super seriously. But you can't, because it's so over the top. The reason I enjoyed Olympus Has Fallen was because it seemed like it had a consistent tone all the way through it, that knew what it was, that wasn't trying to be anything that it wasn't. It seemed like it really got the idea that this is just a fun action movie. White House Down is a fun action film at times, but it seems like it tries to get too overly serious. It is a Roland Emmerich movie, that is for sure. It's a movie that you go into and you're like, okay, I'm just going to mindlessly watch this action, and any of the dialogue that happens, I'm just gonna have to deal with it, basically. See, for me, it was like when the action sequences came, they were exciting. Channing Tatum did a good job in the lead role. I thought Jamie Foxx did a great job as the president. But whenever anyone stopped being cute or funny and tried to be serious with their dialogue, it just failed. Like, it really honestly seemed like this movie just should have been 100% guilty pleasure action. And it tried to be too serious, and for that reason the movie came off very cheesy to me sometimes. I'm gonna give White House Down a C+. I do think that it is a fun film that you could possibly put in and enjoy if you really don't care about what you're seeing. But if you go into this movie expecting anything other than the White House blowing up a lot or Roland Emmerich making a lot of self-referential jokes, then you're gonna be disappointed. Because I went into this movie expecting nothing, and I got a mindlessly enjoyable film. Thanks as always for watching, guys. When you do see the film, it comes out on June 28th. I'm really happy I was able to do this early review. Let me know what you think of it below. Thanks as always, guys, and if you like this, you can click right here and get Stuckmanized.